This is the HomeTech Podcast for Friday, July 12th. From Sarasota, Florida, I'm Seth Johnson.
From Reynoldsburg, Ohio, I'm TJ Huddleston.
From Pickering, Ontario, I'm Gavin Campbell.
And welcome to the HomeTech Podcast, podcast all about home automation, home technology, Amazon garage sales. Prime Day deals are here. What are you guys doing for Prime Day this year? Are you buying anything from the garage sale?
I have a few things lined up that I'm hoping will go on sale. One of them is a meter. We've talked about this in the past, I believe. It's for the barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
The thermometers. So I have one, but I have an old one. And what happens is if you go too far from the barbecue, you lose range, right? The original one. So I'm looking to get the Pro, which actually has a Bluetooth repeater in the case. So the case will sit next to the barbecue and then broadcast a stronger signal out.
Genius.
Right? And that way I can walk further away from my barbecue and not worry about signals. So I'm looking to get one of those. I have a few other things I just throw in my Camel monitoring. And if they drop, I'm going to pick them up.
Yeah, I don't have any plans to buy anything, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to buy anything.
You will buy something.
It depends on what pops up, you know?
The most annoying thing with Prime Day is I always find out the most popular things after it happens, right?
Yeah, well, that's my problem too.
They're like, oh, this was so... I was like, I wish I knew about that. I would have grabbed that deal, but we'll see.
I guess Walmart is also doing kind of like a rival Prime Day where you can get all sorts of stuff too. AirPods Pro, Nintendo Switch OLED. If you got the old Walmart membership, you can great. There's something I just bought for a birthday present. It's going to be 20% off.
Here's a pro tip. Walmart's giving out free 90-day memberships in Canada. I don't know if it's a US thing too, but it's free delivery.
All right.
Yeah, there you go. Govi's DreamView G1 Pro gaming lights are down $80. DualSense Edge controller from Sony. Let's see what else we got on here. There's a bunch of stuff that Walmart's doing as well as the good old Amazon. So the Prime Day wars have begun. They're here now. So I guess this time of year everybody's going to be doing inventory clear outs for summer, and you may take advantage of it. Yeah, Apple AirPods 2nd generation. They are $69.
Nice.
If they were smart, they would have moved Prime Day to other days, because what happens is Tuesday and Wednesday are kind of like the return to office days. For all the post-COVID hybrid people, they usually have to go in Tuesday, Wednesday, and usually have a third day that's flexible. Those are the days for Prime Days. If they made those days like Thursday, Friday, then, people would be, working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they'll stay home Thursday, Friday and do their Prime Day shopping. So I need to think about that.
Yeah, I'm picking up some stuff for a camping trip, and I think I'm going to miss these Prime Days, which...
You going camping with the family?
Going camping out in the middle of the woods. I looked at the campsite today. I didn't schedule the campsite. I would have probably looked at this earlier. We've been there before, but it was like 10 years ago, right? And it says amenities, cell phone coverage, none. Wi-Fi, none. I'm like, how's that? That's not really an amenity.
They just want to make sure you know.
Yeah. Also no power, which I thought was interesting.
Man, you guys are roughing it.
Yeah. I guess
I'd at least get one with power. Jeez.
Make sure you check your wife's Prime Day, wish list, because if it includes things like duct tape, tarp, axe,
probably looking to see
rope,
if your life insurance policy got updated.
Yeah, you better check.
Bag of lye. Yeah. I don't know what's this for. I don't understand. What are you trying to do? A bunch of 5-gallon buckets too. Weird. Yeah, it's strange. I grabbed one of those, since I, realized we didn't have power at the thing. I'm like, well, we're definitely gonna have to recharge stuff. And I want to bring like my camera, right? Because I do like to use my big camera and not my iPhone all the time. And it does eventually I can eventually like take better pictures than my iPhone, but it takes some time. And I like to at least practice with it sometimes. Like those big cameras, like if you don't take pictures with them all the time, like you're not a professional photographer, like you forget all the little tips and tricks. And when you start using it, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot to do this, or I forgot to press this button when I was taking that picture, or I forgot this setting, or I didn't move this dial. And if you take a bunch, then you start remembering as you're taking, and you can take better pictures. And I always forget because it goes months and months and months, and then I use my iPhone, I click a button, and a beautiful picture comes out every time. I don't have to worry about it. But those, I got the big lenses and everything, so I can take some nature photos and that kind of thing. I do actually miss being able to tinker and toy with the camera, so I'm going to bring that, but it runs on batteries, and those batteries get discharged, and I got to charge them up somehow. And so yeah, I bought one of the little solar battery things on Amazon. We'll see how that works.
Ooh,
should be interesting. You can leave it out all day in the sun, and maybe it'll recharge.
we bought one of those for when we do like the smaller farmers markets and whatever other conventions are going on to advertise for the business, and it's done pretty good. Ran a TV on it and a couple other things. So
did you get one of the giant ones? Or just one that
I don't remember the capacity. It was like $300 or $400. It wasn't like crazy expensive. Some of them get like crazy, like you can spend thousands of dollars on them.
Yeah. I was looking at those. I'm not quite interested in dragging around one of those things.
No.
But I mean, we'll have a car there if we need to go somewhere and charge up. We can do that certainly. But
you have walkie-talkies. What do you need batteries in your phone for?
Yeah, I was going over a list with my daughter. And I'm like, oh, walkie-talkies. She's like, yes. I mean, that's all she wanted. So I did. I snuck in some walkie-talkies here. So hopefully we can get those in and
heck yeah,
and have some conversations 5 or 6 feet away from each other, because I doubt she's going to go very far. So we'll see. But yeah, if there's no cell phone coverage, you're going to have to walkie-talkie. So why not? Let's have some fun. It's camping, right? Well, we do have some big news in sticker news. I have seen in multiple locations on our Mastodon server over there, which is our HomeTech.social community. I've seen pictures of people posting, pictures of their stickers, and I've seen stickers stuck on cars and stuck on laptops. I've seen stickers in our hubs. It must mean that the stickers have been shipped.
Yeah. Well, I mailed them all out. They're actually getting to people. So, yeah. We finally did it, guys. It only took us 6 months.
We did it, guys. We did it.
I actually don't know how long it took. I should probably look at the first request and see when that was sent in. But they are all sent out. So if you've contacted us for a sticker, you should be receiving it soon. If you don't receive it in the next 2 weeks, probably just email me and let me know. Because some of them are going to faraway places like Australia or Japan or Ireland or Texas.
Strange places.
Foreign places. Yeah. So I don't, and some of your addresses are weird. I don't know. I just typed them on the address label and I was like, hopefully this gets there. So if it doesn't in 2 weeks, there's probably a problem, I think. I don't know. How long does it even take to get a letter from the US to Japan? Does anybody know?
We'll find out.
Does ChatGPT know?
I mean, you can ask ChatGPT. I'm sure it will give you a decent rundown and bulleted list and summary of what you asked, and maybe a question or a response that sounds informative and correct, but it's probably just going to lie to you like it always does.
Supposedly 7 to 21 days.
Yeah, it's a lot better now. Back in the days when I used to send a telegram, it took... it was probably pretty fast.
So 7 to 21 days, anywhere between a week and a month.
And I mailed them out last week, but it was kind of a holiday thing going on. So yeah, 2 weeks is probably right.
I'm glad that I finally got squared away. I think we're going to run out of stickers and have to do another order of stickers. So I'll get on that.
Yeah, I think I have 4 stickers. So
I'm a little upset our listeners from Jersey didn't request any stickers.
Yeah.
Where are our Jersey Jamaica listeners? We've been calling you guys out for 6 or 7 months.
The country of Jersey.
If you're listening in Jersey, not New Jersey.
We already had New Jersey go out. But yeah, we're looking for you, that 1 or 2 listeners that we have in Jersey.
Or Jamaica.
Yeah, in Jamaica. Yeah. Actually, there were more listeners in Jersey.
Maybe I'll even hand deliver the Jamaica ones.
And not if you're vacationing in Jamaica. Don't try to play that. We want someone that lives there.
Right.
We can tell.
You've got to be a full-time. Yeah, exactly. We'd know for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, stickers out. Prime days are in. We've got to get some more stickers, so we'll get on that. We'll make some fun stickers, I think. Maybe while I'm camping, I'll have plenty of time to open up the laptop and use Photoshop. Oh, wait, no.
I don't think that's how it works.
It's not how it works, huh?
We really need stickers with just our heads, I want to be able to put my head on things.
All right. I'm gonna do that. I'll break up the one we have and that image we have that Gavin had made.
Just little floating heads.
Yeah. We'll do something fun. It'll be like we'll make them like little round stickers or maybe like pogs. We can make Do you remember
Ooh.
Pogs? That game?
Ooh.
No, well, the only reason I remember is because other people told me about it, not because I did something.
Pre-internet. It's like things that games that like marbles, like games that people played pre-internet, and like when you got grounded from Nintendo or something, like they would take these things, these cardboard discs, and
Oh yeah, they're like little cardboard things.
and you'd have a slammer and you'd throw it, and then there was a bounce thing, and I don't really remember what happens after that.
Seth,
So.
you're showing how old you are, and TJ, you're showing how young you are.
Yeah, see, well, there was something I compared this to. It was like old timey something. I forget what I compared it to though.
Jacks or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we did not have this. We had technology when I was a kid. So
Yeah,
sorry.
when we were kids, we had to find ways to entertain ourselves, and
that sucks.
outside, climbing trees,
Sticks.
stuff like that. Yeah, sticks, stones.
Sticks.
There's so many games you can play with a stick. I mean, come on.
You ever take I don't know, the different people call this game different things, but when you had nothing to do, you take like a crushed can and you try and kick it between each other's legs.
Kick the
Oh
can.
yeah.
Different people call it different things, but we had our version. You try and kick it through the leg, and if you got it through the leg, everybody gets to kick that guy until he touches a tree or something like that. Like those are the type of things. Nobody got hurt.
No.
But everyone knew the rules. Everyone followed the rules, and it kept us busy for hours.
Yep. We had a little game where we take a basketball, and instead of playing basketball with it, we'd called it curb ball, and we'd throw it at the curb across the street. And if you bounced it off the curb and it bounced back to you, you got a point.
See, you had equipment. We
It's a
didn't have
basketball.
equipment growing up, right? So, yeah, it's equipment. I had a crushed can, and that was left over from lunch. This is what that crushed can was, either that game or we played like foot hockey with it. That was our puck, and you take off your jacket, and your jacket was your goalie jacket. Like you went to the nice schools. They just pushed us outside.
And Gavin had to save the can so he can get his deposit back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We had to make sure somebody was getting a pop that day. The juice boxes didn't work the same way. I bet you your grade school had like fences to keep you inside the field and stuff like that.
Oh my God. Florida has like fences all around their schools.
Yeah.
It freaked me out the first time I saw it. I was like, why do you guys have fences around your schools?
That's pretty common now, but yeah, they turned all the schools into little prisons for the kids.
It's so scary.
They didn't care about us. They just pushed us out and hoped we came back. That's it,
Yeah.
Probably didn't even want you to come back.
Yeah.
We had pretty much wide open fields, and if you got out the door, you were home free. Like,
If a gator got you, that's your problem.
It's like, don't go to that lake. No, I mean this was in Texas, but yeah, we did not have any kind of gate or anything. Like, as soon as if you walked out the door, which was always unlocked, like, that was it. You could walk anywhere from there. And then
Back then you were in Texas. I forgot. Yeah.
there was a KFC right across the street, so you could go over there and get chicken and potatoes if you wanted.
It was probably 50 cents for all that too, right?
No. It's better than
Come on, Seth.
better than the lunch, that was for sure. But yeah,
That's harsh.
Wait, they fed you lunch?
well, they had lunch. They had a cafeteria, Gavin, that you could eat lunch at.
Oh no, we just had to go and pick off what the other students would bring in. It's like, your mom gave you cookies?
Oh,
Not
man.
anymore.
Jeez.
It was rough growing up. You got the good neighborhood, man.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Should Letterkenny made you guys look so easy going up there.
I know, right?
Oh no, that's like rural areas. Yeah, it's nice up there,
It's nice out there.
But no, in the city,
Just the opposite.
in the city, it's a different case.
Yeah, no, that we were not rural, but we were in a city. But I mean, they have school lunch and everything, so
Nice.
that was all there and available.
So lucky. So lucky.
All right, well, we could talk about stick games and can games all night, I'm sure, but we do have a couple of HomeTech headlines this week. So what do you guys say we jump into them?
Oh yeah, it's a tech show. Let's do it.
All right, big news dropped like right after we recorded the show last week. LG has acquired an 80% stake in the Dutch company Anthem, known for its Homey smart home platform, with plans to acquire the remaining 20% in the next 3 years. A strategic move aims to expand LG's smart home ecosystem, positioning it to do better to compete with Samsung SmartThings. Homey supports devices from brands like Sonos, IKEA, Philips Hue, connects over 50,000 devices, via Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Z-Wave, Matter, and Thread. LG plans to integrate Homey's connectivity into its ThinQ platform, allowing users to control LG appliances through Homey. Anthem will continue to operate independently, maintaining its brand and current operations. LG Executive Vice President Jung Ki-young describes the acquisition as a cornerstone for LG's AI home business. Of course, AI had to get dropped into this. It has nothing to do with any of this, but there you go. Homey's founders remain as executives, continue to develop Homey Cloud and Homey Pro. The deal is estimated at $61 million. So great job, Homey. You've got that LG money now. That's pretty good.
And what's that song? Another one bites the dust.
Yeah. That's I don't know. Like if they're kind of, this is kind of like, I've seen companies do this for a while. We'll see what this looks like in what it'd say 3 years, 2 years.
Yeah. 3 years. Yeah.
When this becomes like incorporated directly into, LG's ecosystem, and the people working there no longer have Homey email addresses, they all change over to the LG email addresses or something. We'll see what it looks like then. But for now, I mean, I think it's a pretty good acquisition by LG. It's smart because now they can start rolling in a smart platform into their TVs and everything. Of course, I saw a couple of comments in the hub that was like, well, LG always kind of like does this and then says they're going to do something and then kind of fails on it. So we'll have to see what they do. Be interesting. Do you think they can put ads on Homey?
They're probably going to incorporate blockchain into Homey. Or NFTs.
No, AI. Come on, it's AI. AI is, it's got to be AI.
I forgot what year it was.
Yeah.
This actually caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting this, but I'm kind of happy that LG decided to buy something that exists out there and not try and spin up yet another ecosystem. That's the positive spin I look on this one, But it caught me by surprise, and I guess, like you said, 2-3 years, we'll see the outcome of this.
Samsung acquired SmartThings for $200 million in 2014. Of course, that was kind of in the heyday, but, prices have come down on these home automation companies.
Well, and Homey is relatively new, and I don't think there's been as much hype around them as SmartThings was.
SmartThings was pretty big.
SmartThings, took off, so...
I don't know what to say. It's like, I almost feel like either LG got it for a good price, because of what they're getting with it, right? Not the popularity of it, but all the work's done for them almost, right? To spend $61 million and now you have your own smart home, system. That's pretty good price for that, The people will come once they integrate it.
Well, in Homey, I think I've never used it myself, but from what I've read about it and what I've seen, it seems like a pretty solid product. I've seen people talk about it negatively a few times, but that's mainly because integrations, which I think is a challenging thing for literally any platform minus Home Assistant. So I think it's...
Well, even Home Assistant.
Well, certain ones, yeah.
Depends on which update you take.
That's true. But yeah, seems like an interesting project. I hope LG doesn't kill it. I'm kind of being facetious there with it, but LG does not have a good track record with software. So
there's a funny line here in the article we'll link to in the show notes. LG has also clarified how Homey's connectivity integrations will be embedded into its products, but notes the deal will, quote, allow it to, quote, gain deeper insights into customers' lifestyle and usage patterns, which may not mesh well with Homey's, quote, privacy first ethos. Whoops. Kind of lets the cat out of the bag there. But a lot of these companies, they do need that lifestyle and usage patterns information, whether it's anonymized or whatever, to train better AI models and that kind of thing. So we'll see what happens there. Be interesting. Right, let's move on here. Amazon has revived a dead product, the Echo Spot smart alarm clock, just in time for Prime Day this year. The refreshed model resembles the original 2017 version, but features a hemispherical display and a speaker split on the front face. It's available in black, glacier white, ocean blue, and you can customize the display with 6 different hues and various clock faces. It's priced at $80, and right now you can snag it for $45 during the Prime Day celebrations. Gavin, didn't you say you got one of these? Do you have one of these?
Yeah, I picked one up. In my house, I have the Amazon devices all around, right? They're my main voice thing. And this one actually looked pretty cool for the guest bedroom because it has the clock built into it. And now I can clear off the clock we had in there, right? And just have one device. I'll be honest, it's pretty nice. Like everyone has their opinions and stuff, but you know, this is my first one that has like an actual screen built into it, and the whole setup process I found actually was really nice. Like it was nice to watch the setup process. That's weird to say, but like all the things moving on the screen and stuff like that, whoever designed it did a really good job, I think, with that. I hate the power cord, but I mean, they've done this before. I used to like on their dots how they had the USB power cord because it gave you so many more options. I could plug it in here, there, USB, whatever. But now it's like a physical plug. It's a short cable. You're kind of stuck with what they give you. In terms of response time, the A-Lady is really fast. I guess that's what to expect with newer hardware. Processes my command really fast, faster than some of my other devices. So I'm happy with that. And the sound, I played some music through it. I was actually shocked by the sound coming out of something so small. The bass it pushed out and stuff. I'm not going to say it's the best sounding thing out there. Like you can't compete with like
a bigger,
true good sound. Yeah. I mean, but for what it is, the sound was actually really nice, right? Like I could listen to music on it and I was enjoying it. Like, so if it's something you're looking for, I recommend it. I wouldn't put this in your main bedroom, maybe, because in our main bedroom, I use my phones as my clock and everything like that, right? But it's nice for a little guest bedroom and stuff. It also has built-in ultrasound motion detection, which I've been playing around with, but I haven't got fully into it yet to see how well it works. But it uses ultrasound to detect people in a room, and you can have automations and stuff off that. The automations, though, you have to use in the Amazon, you know, the ecosystem. I don't think they get exposed to like Home Assistant or anything like that. I have to look a little more into that, but that's kind of cool. If the ultrasound works similar to like the millimeter wave, that would be nice. Yeah. Because then you could have this in the room and it detects people in the room. Beautiful. Right?
Presence detections. Yeah, it's always nice to have. And for a little device like this, for especially $40, to get that and voice control in the same room and a clock. I mean, it's not a bad deal.
It's not a bad deal. And there's a difference between presence detection and motion detection. You always got to remember that, right? So this will give you presence detection, which is really good for room automations. So I'm going to be doing a little more playing with that. I know there's tricks I can create like a dummy sensor and have it trigger that sensor. And then that's how I get the ultrasound into Home Assistant, stuff like that. But, you know, I'm going to play around, see how well that works.
And this is one of their more basic devices. It does not have Zigbee thread built into it like some of the higher end devices. It does have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth Low Energy Mesh, and Matter over Wi-Fi. It says supports all that. So
the Bluetooth part, I guess, lets you set up the Matter devices over Wi-Fi. So if you got a Matter over Wi-Fi and this was the only thing you had, you could still use that device with this because the Bluetooth lets you configure it and whatever else you have to do.
Oh, cool. Very nice. Well, again, for what, $40 seems like a pretty good $44.99 right now. And after Prime Day, it'll go up to $80. Yeah. I don't know if it's worth it at $80, but we'll see.
I have a couple old Echo Dots laying around. I'm going to probably,
swap them out.
I'll give them to my sister. I'll swap one out, give it to my sister, and then, every time a new one comes out, I'll get it and upgrade one of my older ones. And it's a nice little transition. Keep things up to date.
We'll stay on the Amazon theme here. We kind of have an update. I think we talked about this before, the Icoet WH51L soil moisture sensor. I think, Gavin, you were pretty excited about this one because it's like got a cable that you can kind of run off somewhere where you don't run over it with the lawnmower. It's available on Amazon right now for $39, $40 looks like.
Yeah, and regular listeners of the show know they know my fascination with my lawn moisture, and,
No, nobody has ever spoken that sentence before.
I know the moisture of my lawn.
How moist is your lawn?
You had to take it there. This is a family show, okay?
No, it's not. Yeah. No, it's not.
People know that I like my lawns moist, right? And with that being said, these are just an evolution of their WH50s. Those were the green ones that stuck out. This one actually has a cord. It's not the longest cord, but at least you could stick it in the lawn somewhere and then mount it to the side out of the way, and you could still mow your grass and everything. That's the key thing with this. Hell, you could probably just bury the whole thing at some point and still mow your grass too, right? But finding it is the hard part after you do something like that. Trust me, I've lost things in my lawn, but it's a great, I'm going to grab a few of them when they come to Amazon Canada, I think, you know, because there's some spots I want to put them in.
Yeah, it looks like you're supposed to kind of run, it's a 1 meter, 3.28 foot
Cable.
PVC wire, that's connected to it. Looks like you're supposed to run that over to the little device that could be outside, but the picture has it like mounted on a little, like a PVC pipe, like a 1/2-inch PVC pipe you put in the water, or put it on the ground. Like that might limit where you can put this. I wish you could extend the wire somehow. That would be nice.
When I get one, I would probably pull it apart and just see if I can.
It's probably just like 2-conductor or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that. And I could probably extend the wire and go from there. That would be nice. I don't know if extending the wire though affects the reading and stuff like that, because now, you know, the signals.
You have to do a comparison.
Yeah.
These are all things you're going to have to try and figure out. Let us know.
All right, I'll get on it. It'll
Sacrifice.
be my new Seth project. I'll order it and the box will sit on my desk forever.
Until next summer.
Yeah.
Wait till Prime Day. Maybe it'll go on sale.
Well, it's not on Canada Amazon yet. It's only on the US one I saw, so I'm waiting for it to reach Canada.
Well, it's not even on Prime for Amazon, so I don't want it.
For $40.
Just a normal price.
I just get normal shipping. I don't want that.
So sad. Well, it's cool that those are out and they don't have the little blinky light things, and you can maybe set them off to the side and maybe even extend a wire further to get them a little bit out of the way of the chomping lawnmower thing. So yeah. So let's move on here. We've got a new product from Aqara. They've launched a new smart lock U200. It's a retrofit smart lock compatible with Apple HomeKey. Allows users to unlock locks with their iPhone or Apple Watch. Follows the 100 and U50 models. It was introduced back at IFA 2023 and it initially launched with Kickstarter, but now it's available through the Aqara channel. So if you haven't seen this U200, I've seen it kind of making the rounds on social media, priced at $269 in the US and $269 pounds in the UK, with a 20% launch discount. So if there's some codes we'll put in the show notes. You could go put those in, but yeah, this looks like a pretty cool product.
Yeah, I like this because it's comparable to the SwitchBot lock that you can put on.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect for people that rent, or maybe you just don't want to change your lock for whatever reason. Maybe you can't. This basically just goes right over it and makes it work. $270, I think, is a lot of money, but also it's Apple HomeKit and Matter and all the other stuff. So it's literally compatible with everything. Just more expensive than most Aqara products.
Yeah. I don't know. Did you ever hook up your Apple Home Wallet key thing, TJ? Did you ever try that out?
No, I do not use that.
Oh, you should try it. It's like, I think it's probably one of the bigger features that these smart locks should have. Like, because I can just walk up and tap my watch on my lock and it just unlocks. There you go. And it puts a little card inside of your wallet, like a credit card looking thing. And if it's in there, you can unlock your door. So I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a really neat technology. Anything that you have that's Apple that has that, NFC inside of it can open your lock. So.
Well, my house is kind of like Gavin's. My house is sentient. It knows when I'm home or when I'm leaving. So it just automatically unlocks and locks the door for me.
No. All right. Well,
yeah,
that sounds safe.
That's why I have 20 cameras around.
Right? It's safer. All right. Moving on here. We've got a new product from Philips Hue. They have God, I don't know what they were thinking. They have introduced an update version of the Pillar Spotlight series in Europe. Features a Pillar Spotlight and a Pillar Double Spotlight, because what's better than two of these ugly things?
No.
And a Pillar Spotlight extension, because you may want it to look uglier.
Drop it down further.
I don't know how to describe these. These are horrible looking things, but I guess if you want them, you needed a 400 lumen light. It comes with upgraded Philips Hue GU10 bulbs. Works with everything that you think it should. I don't know. These are probably the ugliest lights I've ever seen, though. At least in the pictures that they have. I don't know how they could be better. But if you imagine the light that sticks out of your ceiling, and just like, what if that was like a beer can and it stuck down a little bit further, and the light, instead of being in the ceiling, was on the end of that.
Yes.
Like an upside down candle. That's what these look like. I can't even imagine bringing that into the house and saying, hey, let's put these in. Instant return. That would not pass the design committee. I am sorry.
Well, and this, like, and the guy in the advertisement, he doesn't even look that tall, but like, he's not that far from the light either. And so, like, what am I going to do? Stretch and hit my light and knock it right off the ceiling? Nah, it's very ugly though. I don't get it.
I don't honestly know what you would maybe.
It reminds me of like the track lighting, like the track lighting people put in their house to like illuminate different things. It reminds me of that minus the track.
Minus the track, yeah, and uglier. Like if that was possible, but yeah, there it is. I don't know what you would use these for. Honestly, I guess
I think it's more like focus lighting. So like maybe drafting plans or drawing or something like that.
It can't be,
because the problem with like regular recessed lighting is that you can't really focus it. It's just like broad light. This one kind of looks like, especially with you can rotate the light and everything like that. I think it's more like focus light, like track lighting.
But you can do that with. You can already do that with in ceiling lighting. Like I have some like where you can twist and angle the lens and all that. I don't know. These make ceiling lights look even uglier to me. I don't.
Yeah, but you can just reach up and grab this. You have to get a ladder for the recessed ones.
Just poke it with a stick or something. Jeez.
Can they come out with a PTZ version so I can just move it with the app?
That would be actually cool.
Pre-programmed light shows.
Yeah, you could have it moving around.
Philips Hue, take my idea.
Could it be possible that these were made for ceilings that you can't recess something into?
Yeah, well, it's a European thing right now, so I would assume that is probably correct.
But I mean, you could get thinner puck lights like this one.
I don't know why they have to be this big. Yeah, that just doesn't make any sense to me.
If I had this over my desk, I'd feel like a hot dog on a heating stand, because it would be so close to my head, and you just feel the warmth. Like this, I don't know.
No, it's LED, so there's no warmth there. If that convinces you any.
Yeah.
I wonder if these are like a more like a pot, like maybe it's like replacing some kind of fixture that exists in Europe that like it's just expected that exists, but I have not seen these before.
If you're in Europe, you should tell us, is this a normal light?
Is this a normal light? Did you get your stickers? And is this a normal light? Because we do not believe that this...
This is what people in Europe are using.
Yeah, give us some examples of why you would want this.
Yeah, I mean, I know some, like you said, Gavin, you can't retrofit anything, but you could get like there's smaller pancake lighting that you can put up there that doesn't stick down 6 or 7 inches or whatever the heck this is.
And you still got to run the power to this, right? So you still got to go up in the ceiling. Yeah. You still got to go up in the ceiling.
The first thing I thought of this is when I saw this, I was like, would Richard approve of this light? But now that I'm thinking about it more, like usually when I think that Richard's not going to like something, he'll probably like this.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's cool.
I wonder if he likes this. Richard, let us know. Do you like this light? Europe and Richard, give us your feedback.
Yeah, it's 7.5 inches top to bottom. I don't get it. I don't understand.
That's what she said.
That's crazy. So
yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's like no. In Sweden or Finland, we have all of these. These are what we have. These are our national lights, and we have to have these. Maybe that's the thing. And then like Philips is like, yeah, we made them. Like we have to make them because we wouldn't be able to sell anything in Finland because they have a law that says you have to have these lights that stick off your ceiling 7 inches.
And they have them in singles and doubles.
Singles and doubles, yeah. There's got to be a reason.
They don't have attics there, so they can't recess lights.
It's crazy. Well, there you go.
What do you think about this ugly light, listeners?
Let us know. Feedback at HomeTech.fm. And if you are in like a country that mandates that you have these lights, like it's a European Union thing, like,
Let's not call it ugly. Say it's different.
Don't yuck my yum.
Okay.
Let us know. Let us know what you think about your ugly lights. And we'll talk about it on the show again. Because, those are ugly. Oh, geez. And if you do get them, you might hit these bug here that Philips Hue bulbs randomly switched switched to 100% brightness without user input. The issue stems from Matter compatibility with Signify, the parent company, attributing it to random radio traffic disruptions being misinterpreted as power toggles. The company is assured that a fix will be available within a week. So there you go. These may just kick on 100% all of a sudden. Don't know why, but there they go. It looks like this bug affects the interoperability with Matter smart home. So like it's a Matter thing, just kind of a bug, and they're working on it. So they'll fix it.
They are working on it.
Does this just affect like any Philips Hue if you're not using their smart hub? Do you have to be using their smart hub?
I guess you'd probably have to be using, since it's Matter, you would have to be using their smart hub with that Matter thing enabled.
That makes sense, yeah.
Because that's where the bug would come from, some like misinterpretation, and then it would send out like, oh, we're supposed to be at 100%. Whoops, turn on the lights.
Another plus for Home Assistant.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't have a single Philips Hue hub in my house.
Yeah, I threw away my Philips Hue hub because I was like, I don't know where the bulbs are or anything, and like I ended up finding one.
You don't need it anymore.
Yeah, well now I got a bulb, and I found the couple bulbs that I had.
I'll send it back in my shrimp box.
Oh, we do have to talk about that. And here's more yuck in your yum, TJ. A recent update to the Roku OS 13.00 has rendered many TCL and Hisense TVs nearly unusable due to a forced motion smoothing implementation. It's a feature despised by many film and TV purists. Basically, they updated this thing and they're like, Roku Smart Picture, you like that? No, you don't like that? It's on now and you can't turn it off. And
you love it.
Yeah, motion smoothing, the soap opera effect on your TV, it's permanent. No option to disable it. It sparked a pretty widespread frustration among users who've taken to the forums and Reddit to yell about it because that's what you do. But Roku hasn't really said anything about the issue. So maybe it'll get updated like signifies. Maybe it won't, but there's a funny piece entitled Dear Roku, You Run My TV over at The Verge. We'll link to it in the show notes. But man, another strike on Roku, I guess. The ads weren't bad enough. Now you get motion smoothing for free.
That's like one of the first things you turn off on a TV. So
I try and turn it off in the hotel rooms I stay at. Like I try and break into the like some of them are pretty locked down.
The installer settings.
Yeah, I try and break into the like unplug the communication to their server and go into the installer settings with the magic remote codes that I may or may not have, and then turn off motion smoothing so the TV's watchable. But yeah, that's awful.
I try to turn it off at everyone's house I visit. It's amazing. Like, commercial break, quick. Let me just do something quickly. And I just turn it off and they're like, oh, thank you.
It doesn't take long to improve your TV picture. Yeah, I don't know why that's turned on.
Who is making that decision to turn this on by default? Who is sitting there going, we like this? Like, I can't figure this out.
I think it's more like for sports people. Like it does if you don't know what you're looking at, or you don't know any better, I guess. It's like if you didn't know that you could turn that off, your TV does look a little more like sharp and like clear, and it looks like you're right there. But that's not necessarily how you're supposed to watch the TV. Like you're not supposed to feel like you're in a soap opera when you're watching Magneto float down from the sky in X-Men. It's like, no, that never happened in real life. Like there should be some suspense. It kind of ruined the movie. Like when I saw it in with motion smoothing turned on, because it's like, wow, that's really awkward. I can almost see the wires. It's like, this is a guy dressed up in a costume, not like when you see it with motion smoothing off and it looks like a real movie. Like you kind of get more immersed into it. It doesn't trip you up and mess with your head that way. So I think it does work better on sports too, because that, of course, you want to feel like you're there on courtside or whatever. But I just don't understand why it's on by default for the most part. They should say, hey, we're gonna give you the option when you're setting up your TV to turn it on and off. Do you want your TV to look awful? Leave this setting on.
That's what the TV mode should be. When it says like vivid and bright and everything, it should just say awful and not awful.
Yeah, if you turn vivid on, that can turn motion smoothing on. I don't care. But if you put it on movie mode or something like that, like just turn motion smoothing off. There you go. Should be part of that toggle, or just a dip switch on the back of the TV. Just manually flip it.
Nah, it's got to be under 20 different menus.
Yeah, and everybody has to call it something different. All right. Well, all the links and topics we discussed tonight can be found in our show notes over at HomeTech.fm/489. Nothing in the mailbag tonight other than pictures of our stickers being stuck on things. But we do have a fun pick of the week. I don't know if you guys remember this, but if you ever worked in an electronics store like I did at Circuit City, getting the DVD logo to box into the corner, that was what you just sat there and stared on stared at that logo all day long, bouncing around, and somebody has made a game out of it. So this game is a cute little game that somebody made to give you a nice little DVD logo that bounces around on the TV screen, I guess, in your computer or whatever. I don't know. It looks fun. There's a little GIF of it bouncing around, but the idea is you can move the TV around and try and line up the DVD logo to bounce into the corner. And when it does,
you get a point.
Increases your score by 1. Yeah, you get a point.
I just played for the first time, and I got a score of 10, which I don't think is that good, but
I've been playing for the last 5 news stories, so I hope the listeners doesn't realize I seem distracted, but yeah.
Gavin was very quiet there.
Yeah. My high score is 12, but I'm improving. It's harder than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, when you played it in the store, that's exactly how it was. Oh, it's got cute little sounds too. I haven't done that. So yeah, move it around. Oh, this is great. I just got 2 points, guys. I didn't even have to do anything.
Wow.
I think you just leave it sitting there and it'll be fine. Yeah, that's it. Just leave it sitting there. That's the key. Just don't move it.
Just like back in the day.
Back in the day, it'll bounce. Eventually, it'll bounce in there. So there you go.
Yeah, you're not going to beat a high score at that rate.
It speeds up too, damn it.
Yeah.
You can connect a joystick. That's pretty cool.
You see, it just goes to show you don't need like a $10 million budget and voiceovers and stuff to make an addictive game.
No.
Give me something like this and it'll keep me busy for hours.
I mean, this kept me busy for hours and hours when I worked at Circuit City. It was boring. So yeah, definitely. Just sit there and stare at the DVD logo bouncing around. Man, what a time.
See, you had equipment. We had a can.
What did your Circuit City sell?
Well, I didn't work at Circuit City, but if they sold pre-crushed cans, they would have huge sales for us kids.
Flying off the shelves.
Yeah, for our hockey pucks. Yeah, times were tough. But yeah, 13.
All right. If you beat Gavin, or if you have any feedback, questions, comments, picks of the weeks, or great ideas for the show, give us a shout. Email address is feedback@HomeTech.fm, or you can visit HomeTech.fm/feedback and fill out the online form. All right. Project updates this week. We've got Gavin first up.
Sorry, I'm 13.
Still playing 13.
The game. 13. All right, project updates. Where was I? You see, Seth, you introduced me to a game, and look what happens. I just want. Okay, first off, I'm still playing around with my Z-Wave. Just want to give an update. Yes, the latest Home Assistant Z-Wave update fixed it all, right? I even re-enabled Z-Wave long range and let it sit for a day, and no more drop off. So it was obviously a bug in certain versions of their Z-Wave plugin, and it's all been sorted out. So I'm a happy camper. That being said, I started testing out long range again, and once I put the sensor back in the back corner of my backyard, it loses connectivity. Obviously it's having issues communicating, but the Z-Wave mesh out there works beautifully. So to me, I look at this as figure out your use case scenario, right? Like use whichever one works for you. So if you have a situation where you don't have repeaters between the device and say the hub, then maybe long range will be the best thing for you. But in my house, I have Z-Wave everywhere. I have repeaters outside. I have repeaters inside. So the mesh is very strong here. So I don't really have a use for long range, right? Unless I had like a mailbox that was really far, then maybe long range would be good for them. And, thanks for everybody sending in the tips and stuff like that, but I'm just doing long range testing. I'm not planning to migrate to long range. One of the things that I use a lot is associations. And when you start mixing mesh and long range, they don't work. You have to have them on the same system. So I'm going to keep everything in mesh now. I don't have any problems with delays or all the other issues that they're saying the long range is supposed to fix. I'm happy with what I have now. It works. It's very reliable, as long as Home Assistant doesn't break it.
Yep. And I mean, I think, it may just be unique to your install too, because we have Josh in the hub. And He was kind of giving you a report too. He said that he was testing Zoo's LR contact sensor. He has the 800 stick located in his basement as well, but he's getting communication upstairs and outside to a mailbox. He says it's over 150 feet away. And he has a motion sensor too that he's going to go play with, but yeah, he didn't need to have the long range on that. But yeah, I mean, radio signals are always going to be dependent on the structure they have to go through, how thick the walls are, what's got the walls inside. Like here in Florida, we have that they put like this metal mesh on before they put
plaster.
Yeah, it's crazy. So like sometimes like even the Zigbee room to room was a difficulty to pull in between like light switches, especially early on when we were trying to figure out how Zigbee meshing worked. I mean, who knew how it was going to, you have this thermostat and it was just like no signal on the thing in the other room. And it's like, well, got to start putting some devices in until we can figure out how to get that thermostat meshed in a little bit better. And of course it was magic, right? Like you'd identify it and then the Zigbee thing had to figure out what route to take.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like it was like, it's either going to work or it's not, who knows? But yeah, wireless is tricky because again, it's the magic part, right? It's got an antenna. There's a magic portion that goes between here and there, and then antenna on the other side. And, who knows what's going to happen.
And that's why I mix my ecosystems. Like I have some stuff on Zigbee and some stuff on Z-Wave. Between the two of them, both of their meshes in my house are strong. Right. So I don't have to worry about a Zigbee mesh or a Z-Wave mesh. I have enough devices that fill in all those gaps and help it out. So the mesh works for me.
Yeah.
And for outdoor devices. And I do have outdoor repeaters too, in devices like an outdoor plug, or an outdoor switch. They repeat the signal as well. And it works. So I'm just going to stick with my mesh for now.
Sounds good. I mean, you've got enough devices too that the mesh probably is the way to go.
Yeah. Well, the thing about the mesh is you want to just make sure it's tuned properly, or else you run into the delays and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And you want to make sure you have like updated devices. The last thing you need is like an older device that's a repeater in your fast mesh, because then it just creates a bottleneck for you. Right. And that's where you start to see a lot of delays or issues. So you got to be careful with stuff like that. And we talked about the Echo Spot, but the other thing that just arrived today was my unoriginal Prusa dry box. So, just for the 3D people out there, it's like a little dry box that looks like the Prusa, enclosure, and it sits on top and it will hold all your up to 5 or 6 filaments and then feed it right into my MMU through the case. So I'm really excited. I have to put it all together, and I'll post pictures on my Mastodon, of course. That's where I like to share my 3D. Every time I share a 3D printing thing on there, my phone starts to vibrate with likes and retweets or retweets or whatever they call it, right? But the thing that blows me away is you can print out like an auto rewinder for it. So if you understand the MMU, it has like a buffer for when it ejects the filament, it will fill in the buffer. That's where the filament kind of gathers so it doesn't get tangled around the spool and stuff, right? Well, I'm so amazed how people design stuff like this, but they printed an auto rewinder that kind of like is a spring loaded mechanism. So when it ejects the filament, the spool actually will rewind it back on. And it's hard to explain. You have to visually see it and understand how it works. But, people put their minds together and they come up with some amazing stuff. And I'm going to be printing out this stuff, and then I can get rid of my buffer, shorten the length, and everything works beautifully. So I'm loving this printer. As you can tell, I'm loving this printer.
I'm looking on printables. This is something that you can print yourself. It seems like it is. No?
Yeah, if you want to spend like a week of 24-hour printing, yeah. And then you'd have to source some of the parts, where I just ordered it straight from their Alibaba or AliExpress store. And it came like all the printed parts. It came with, because the pain in the ass part would be the plexiglass sides. Then I'd have to buy plexiglass and then cut it all down to the right size.
It's probably cheaper, yeah.
At that point, my time, and everything like that, I just decide, let me just order the kit and put it together.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. I was trying to see, there's a assembly video here, and I was hoping this Adventures with Dr. Joe was going to show me what it did, but he doesn't. He just kind of shows it being put together.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a video I can find where it shows what you're talking about with the little rewind thing.
Yeah.
That sounds neat, man.
It is
It's
neat.
cool that you can like print the thing if you want, but then it's also cool like you can just, if you don't want to waste your time, then you could just go to Alibaba and be like, I'm going to go to Alibaba and buy it.
And that's what I really like about Prusa printers is they're so customizable. You can print out parts, you can print out things, like, and then even just maintenance, a few screws and this piece comes off and you can clean it out and do what you have to do. Like it's so easy to work with, where some of the more complex ones, you got to take off 50 screws to get to one part to unjam it, and you don't want to be fighting with that. So I'm happy with my Prusa.
I like how on here you can print it, but then there's also the little remix thing you can click, and people have like, one guy has a ball bearing spool holder.
Yes.
It's like, okay. And then there's like somebody that has done like a door handle or put a handle on it that didn't exist or something like that. So you can get it with a door handle. Like there's all this stuff that people have done to improve like little things that annoyed them about a product that they bought. It's like, well, that's really cool that you can do that because it's mostly all a 3D printed product anyway. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the 3D printing world. I mean, even if the dry box, you wanted to 3D print it, you could print the parts and then they actually have a kit of everything else that you can't print. So you can sit there and print everything and just order for cheaper, just the other parts and put it all together. But I didn't want to sit there for like, then you have to pay for filming.
Save your time.
Yeah. In the end, it's just, let me just order the whole thing.
Yeah, it's 135 files and wow, that's crazy. So yeah, that'd be quite a bit of printing, I guess. It's a pretty big box though. And like you said, you had to source the plexiglass and all that stuff. It's actually not cheap. It's still kind of like more expensive than you think to buy plexiglass or get it cut and everything. So yeah, there you go. Awesome.
And finally, just for the record, that game was running in the background. I wasn't even touching it, and it's already up to a score of 9.
Wow.
There you go.
There's the trick. Just
don't touch it.
Just don't touch it.
Naturally.
That's the update of the game.
All right. I had a couple. I've been kind of working on this Ollama thing. This is like a self-hosted AI thing that you can do. It basically downloads the models and you can put whatever interface you want on top of it. I was using it for code completion in VS Code because somebody was talking about it on YouTube. I'm like, oh, I've heard of the Ollama, and you can get like a chat GPT. Let's just call it another program, like an interface into the Ollama thing that you can use to communicate with it, I guess, like you would chat GPT. It's a chat window. I really don't have any use for that right now. Maybe later, but we'll see. But the code completion seemed kind of cool, and the install was actually really easy on the Docker stuff on the Unraid. Because usually, Gavin, you have to like copy and paste those like IDs for your NVIDIA card. Like I went and like, how like you have to copy those and put them in like Docker flags or something like that.
Yeah, to expose the card to the Docker container. Yeah.
Yeah. This one was like, nope, I got you. And it was like, it just brought it in. I went and looked at the logs. I was like, well, what do I do here? And it like detected it and brought those IDs in. So I've got the whole, it's that Tesla M60 or M40, I forget which one it is. And it brought that right in using the NVIDIA driver. So I didn't really have to do anything. It's like one click install, and then it was a plugin in VS Code. I point it to the IP address of where that server is and the port. Good to go. Got code completion and everything. I was like, oh, that's cool for like a 15-minute project. Easy peasy. I'm gonna try and do more with it though, because there's all sorts of fun stuff that can be done. And if I had internet, maybe next week I would try more, but it's probably not going to happen. But we'll see. I've got some ideas of things that I can do with it that may be kind of fun.
There's like, see if you could tie it into a Home Assistant to do some stuff. I'm curious how much.
Tell me, how many graphs should I have?
Yeah.
I really don't know what I should do. It's got like 3 devices in Home Assistant in my printer. So,
I wonder how much resources it uses up on your card. Like,
it doesn't do much. Cause I can see it. You can watch the log file go and you can bring up the, I'm only doing like code completion. So it just kind of like scans the file that I was doing as I type, and it's constantly communicating back and forth. So you can watch all that on the dashboard of Unraid.
Yeah.
and kind of see what it's doing. And you just see like the memory usage of the card like bump up real fast, and then it goes back to normal or whatever. I did find when I was doing some heavy encoding the other day, that I would need to like put some fans on that card or put it into the server chassis, just kind of move it around, I guess. All of which are more work than I want to put into it, because it did get to a, like an overheat state when I was left it running for a bit doing a bunch of decoding work. Or encoding work. So I'll probably want to eventually move that to where it can get a better airflow through it, because it doesn't have any. It's like a fanless thing.
Yeah.
People make 3D printed fan things for it, but I don't feel like dealing with any of it. And if anything, I should put it into the server thing that has the big fans running all the time anyway, rather than where it is in kind of a consumer chassis. So whenever I move it over, I may get a little bit more performance. Yeah, it's a Tesla M60. I may get a little more performance out of it, but I don't know. Those cards have come down way down in price. Like the M60s and 40s, if you need one, like you can get them for a few $100s now, whereas like in the past they were $600, $700, $800, and then new out of the box they were in the $3,000-$4,000 range.
Right now I have 2 graphics cards in my server, so I don't have room for one more, but I was thinking of getting one of these and replacing one of those other cards. Because it can be shared among Dockers. Like you don't have to have it dedicated. The only thing you can't share is between a VM and Docker.
Right.
The VM has to be like dedicated, but this would be great to throw on the Dockers. But I wanted one with H.265 encoding on it and decoding, just because the one I have to use for all this stuff has to be able to support my MB server. So
yeah,
that's when it gets a little more expensive.
The prices, because that's what everybody's looking for right now, and the prices bump up a little bit on that. But I mean, I'm looking to the M60 one that I have now. $50 is the going rate for them, and it's a good card. It doesn't have that particular encoding in it, but if you just need to do H.264, I think it does some H.265, but not as efficiently as the newer stuff. But it's like having 2 graphics cards in one, and it does need a fan. So $50 on eBay right now. Not bad.
Yeah. And you can, like you said, 3D print, like they have, like it's a duct that will direct.
Yeah, it's a little duct. Yeah.
It directs the breeze from the fans at the front of my server directly through there to help cool it, which is actually really nice.
Yeah. It definitely needs to have that active airflow on it, and I don't even know, like right now I have the fans on the server turned down. I don't even know if like at the state they're at, if that would be like, if it would keep up. Like it may need to bump that up, which I can do manually. I could turn them up manually. But as soon as they get over like 14% or something crazy low, like I think, oh man, they're loud. It turns into
what server do you have?
It's the 730 Dell R730.
So there's a Unraid plugin called is it iDRAC? So basically I have the iDRAC. Yep. Yeah, and it monitors the temperature of your server and auto adjusts the fans for you.
Yeah, I have that in. Every now and then I'll hear it spin up if something's going on, but as soon as anything goes on, it turns into a vacuum cleaner for you. Yeah.
And those fans will spin up high when they have a device in the server that it can't detect the temperature from.
Right.
It's not supported. And that's why they spin up high. But when you put in a proper server, like a proper video card like this one, it should be able to detect the temperature and then have better fan control and stop them from spinning up like crazy.
Right.
So
yeah,
might as well.
I'm not like if it wasn't right here, like if I had a basement or a closet to hide it in or something where I didn't have to listen to it, I'd probably bump it up a little bit more. But right now it's mostly quiet. I actually can't hear it running right now. The fans are all at about 1,000. Oh, actually, this is not the right server. But the fans are pretty low. But it does bump up. The server that the GPU is in right now doesn't have that issue. Like it's using those brown fans, whatever they're called, the ones that are quiet anyway. but they're big and they're just there to move air through, but it doesn't.
Is it
Noctua? Yeah.
Yes.
It just doesn't keep up with it. So at the end of the day, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not processing a bunch of numbers and like just doing code completion with like this little plugin seems to be just fine. And every now and then I'll go and encode or decode something, and I don't care. It can run all night for all I care. It's just re-encoding TV shows to save a couple of megabytes for each show, rather than taking up, a terabyte. It'll go down to 900 gigabytes or something. It's like it just saves a little bit of space here and there, and then when I delete them, they go away. So that's it. That's all I got. TJ. Oh well, I got one more thing. TJ sent me a box of shrimp while I was out of town. Thank you, TJ.
Hopefully you put it in the fridge fast enough.
It was hilarious because we were out of town for the holiday. My in-laws were picking up our mail, and they're like, "Somebody sent Seth a box of shrimp and sent us this picture." And my wife was like, "What the heck? Who is TJ?"
Like, there's been a lot of questions that the past couple of weeks. Who's TJ? Because when we sent all the stickers out, I had to put my name on them as well, just in case they came back. So everybody's gonna know my name. But no, I'm glad you got that. I've been slowly, don't tell Agnes, but I've been taking out some of my Zeus switches and replacing them with Innovelli switches. And so that's the one I took out of my bedroom, and you could tell it came from the bedroom because it's got that nice paint on it. So
blue paint.
Yeah.
I think we had a wall in our old house that was the same color.
Nice.
This is the Zeus. It's the double switch, S2 double switch that we were talking about, the Zen 30.
It's great.
I would just look at this. It's got 2 relay outputs on it, right?
I think only one works though. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know for sure because I was only using it with a light and a fan, but it might have 2 relay outputs. I don't know.
That's going to be my use case too. And I showed my wife. I'm like, "Hey, check this out." And she's like, "You can order 3 more of those." I'm like, "Yeah, I can."
That's what's in the shrimp box, honey.
Yeah, this is what's in the shrimp box. But I was showing her like, "Yeah, like we have these locations that have a dimmer and a fan, or 2 fans, or a fan and a light, bathroom fan and a light, and that kind of thing." It's like, yeah, I've never been able to actually put those on the system where when you're out of the house, you can make sure that they're turned off. That's really our only use case. And now I can, thanks to TJ and the shrimp box, the magic shrimp box that showed up.
Yeah. That's literally like the best solution. So I'm right now we're doing a lot of the Philips Hue bulbs, so I can't really use those because they're not compatible. I can use it with the automations, but it's a little janky. So they're like the best solution, and outside of that, there's not a lot of good options. So
yeah. Well, thank you.
Okay.
I will have to take this and put it in soon, one of these days. And I've got if I haven't lost it, I have the Zeus. It's so small, the little USB stick thing.
Oh, the USB stick, yeah. You should just plug it into your server so you don't have to worry about it.
Well, I think it's inside a rack, so I think I'm probably going to have to extend this up.
Oh, yeah.
To
little USB
poke out the top, because the Z-Wave stuff is going to be clear across the house too. So
that means you're going to have to buy more Z-Wave stuff.
Or I can put it in long range. And
well, that doesn't have long range, so the switch.
Well, I've failed all around here.
You learned nothing from our interview with Agnes.
Stick it back in the shrimp box for now.
Yeah, so I got a couple small things going on this week. The SwitchBot remote, which we talked about a couple weeks ago. I said whenever I got Apple TV support, I would buy it, and it got Apple TV support like 4 days after, and so I purchased one. I'm using it. I have a very simple use case. We basically have a open living room and kitchen area, and we have 2 TVs in the area. That's literally the only 2 TVs we have in the whole house, right in that same area. But right now we have like 4 remotes to control it, right? We have the LG remote to control the living room TV and along with the Apple TV. And in the kitchen, we have the Sony TV remote, and then we have the Apple TV remote. And so with this one SwitchBot remote, we can control everything. And it works great. I mean, it's one of those things that, I really wanted to control multiple Apple TVs with it, and it basically just pairs to the Apple TV with Bluetooth. And so I was able to pair it to both Apple TVs. Works fine. Not the best looking remote. Whenever I pulled it out of the box, Nicole said, "What is this hospital remote doing here?" So it is not an attractive remote. I feel like if they just made it like black, it would probably be a lot better, but the white color is not helping at all. And I know that's like SwitchBot's thing is just white electronics, but some stuff like the remote that I'm going to touch after eating chicken wings should not be white. So
that's gonna get dirty fast.
Yeah, and like I'm not like the grossest person in the world. I wouldn't say I'm the cleanest either, but this remote is definitely not going to look good after like 4 months.
Hey Seth, look up remotecovers.com.
We need a new website.
We need a new website.
Well, you basically ship people Ziploc baggies to like put their remotes in.
Like the little cell phone holder things when you go like rafting and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's been working fine. We've been trying to use it exclusively. Nothing weird. It's got like programmable buttons on it, like the hard buttons. But you don't seem to be able to actually program those. So I'm not really sure why I can program them. For example, with the Apple TV, by default, if you hit the home button, it like opens up their Apple TV service or whatever. I don't know what they actually call like the user interface. But in settings, you can change it to where it just like basically just goes to the main screen. But the SwitchBot remote, when I press the home button, it like just goes back a screen and I can't reprogram it. So like that's annoying. I have to like hold it and it goes to the home screen. So that's weird. That might be like a Bluetooth thing though. I'm not really sure. But the Apple TV remote does not do that. So I'm blaming SwitchBot.
Yeah, it's, I mean, even in the Control 4 world of things, there's a couple of different ideas of what button should do what and how it should operate with the system. And some guys have made their own like IR driver that kind of might be it does let you configure what some of those buttons, like what you do when you press a button, like what button does what and what brings you back, how it brings you back to the home screen and that kind of thing. I know Apple even has a setting in there. I guess it's more like that home button and how it works can bring you to the Apple TV app or to home screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I wish Apple had a better idea on how to control their box than they do. But yeah, you're kind of stuck with what you get sometimes when it comes to
Apple
and the control that they offer. But then like
just be like Roku.
Yeah. just turn on that sweet motion smoothing.
Minus everything else Roku does, but
yeah.
And then so I got that going on. And then for some reason I've decided to just go all down this path for adaptive lighting. And so I've been slowly switching over a lot of my light bulbs to Philips Hue. I've got adaptive lighting set up through Home Assistant, so where it basically just adjusts the brightness and color temperature of the lights throughout the day. I really like it. It's kind of nice when you wake up and you turn the kitchen light on and it's not like bright white light. It's just like a very soft, dimmed light. And I think it makes a big difference. I don't know if it's any like the health benefits some people claim, but it is kind of nice just not being blinded. And when we moved into the house, I installed under cabinet lighting and I've been really happy with it, really liked it. It's really been helpful actually, because most of the time, like especially at nighttime, the under cabinet lighting turns on with motion and we don't have to turn the kitchen lights on. So this past couple weeks, I've decided that I want to switch out the LED lighting in the cabinets. And I went with white tunable LED strips as well. So instead of just having 4,000K, I now have 3,000 to 6,000K. I've got that hooked up to the adaptive lighting as well. And that's been really nice. It's been a pretty big difference. And I can just, use Home Assistant to change the color temperature whenever I want to. And so if I'm actually just like working in there or whatever, I can change it to 6,000K or whatever I feel like it. So that part's been not too bad. I'm stupid. I'm always preaching running better wire than you need at the time. And I only ran 2-conductor when I installed this. So I had to replace all the 2-conductor wiring with new 3-conductor wiring.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I probably should have just did that initially so I don't have to rerun the wiring, but here we are.
Yeah, I'm mostly in the same boat. I did run kind of as a saving grace. I did run some regular power wire, I guess.
Romex?
14.2, Romex, alongside, the low voltage. I think I just ran Cat 5. But what it allowed me to do at the end of the day was to run the low voltage over the Romex, and I can power up a local, like a Shelly device under each cabinet. A little more expensive at the end of the day, but yeah, I should have thought it through and put in better wire, so I could get in there and power things up. The Cat 5 is just not enough to do that kind of stuff over longer distances. But Yep.
This time
it sucks.
This time I installed 4 conductor, and then as I'm doing this, I was like, man, I probably should have just installed like 6 conductor. Because what if I want to do RGB at some point? But I don't think I'm going to do RGB, so that's fine.
Yeah, I don't.
The white tunable though, I think I really like that, and we've converted every room minus the office and the guest room in the living room, I guess, to adaptive lighting now. So
yep, I totally like how you can change the mood and the feel of a room just by adjusting that color. Again, I like it being bright white when you're trying to work, and then nice and comfortable in the evening.
Yeah, you walk in at 2:00 at night, you don't need to see everything. I just want to make sure I don't kick the cabinets or something.
Exactly.
Or my cat.
That sounds fun, man. You've been busy.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm waiting. I've been doing some more irrigation stuff, so I actually ran some irrigation lines out to the front yard. I have an irrigation company actually coming out this Friday to give me a quote on installing whatever it is you install for irrigation stuff, like the head end stuff. So not the controller, but everything you need before the
little
controller.
valve thingies.
Yeah,
the manifold, and then you have the spray heads. Man, you could do that yourself.
Well, so I basically need like the backflow prevention installation.
Oh.
And that's pretty much it. So, which I guess I can have any plumber do, but right now it's kind of janky because we're just using like the regular hose spigot. But I want to just get something mounted on the wall so I can not use the hose spigot anymore. That's probably a next year project.
Our neighbors just put in a sprinkler system, and it has like, I don't know if they're like newer style heads, but I've seen them at commercial stuff, but it's like they're like rotate. And like this, like I don't know how to describe it. It's like a slow rotate of little tiny streams.
Yeah.
And it'll start and stop. You know, it's not so much different than the one that normally like swings back and forth, but it's just kind of doing it in the same motion across the lawn. I'm like, oh, I like those. I really do. So now,
and those streams are actually adjustable. So if it's like a corner, you could adjust it so the stream stops at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a couple of those in the basement, but never put them in. It's a Seth project.
It involves digging a bunch of stuff, and then like, yeah. Right now, I mean, we've gotten like within like 2 days, we had 2 inches of water. Like, it was like 2.5 inches of water, some crazy amount of water. No, it was 4 inches of water. That's what it was. It's like there's no way I can mow the lawn, and my sprinkler has been on like blinking bypass for the past 3 or 4 weeks now. So it's funny, he put it in, I saw him test it, but I haven't seen it run since then. So clearly it's been on bypass too. Like we've been getting a ton of rain, and the grass just keeps growing. So
same here. Yeah, same here. Like we've gotten so much rain, my sprinkler hasn't really gone off often. I've only really been watering some new grass seed that I've been putting down, but other than that, like the rest of the lawn's been growing.
Yep. I'll put it in the show notes. I found the biodegradable poly remote control covers, 0.7 mil gauge, and you get 2,000 of them in a case. So that will keep your SwitchBot remote pretty clean, TJ. And when it gets dirty, you just swap it out.
Perfect.
Yeah, $56 for a case of this stuff. So there you go. Is it worth it? Probably not. All right. I think that's going to wrap up the show this week. We do want to give a big thank you to everyone who supports the show, but especially those who are able to financially support the show through our Patreon page. If you don't know about the Patreon page, head on over to HomeTech.fm/support to learn how you can support HomeTech for as little as $1 a month. Any pledge over $5 a month gets you a big shout out here on the show, but every single pledge gets you an invite to our private Slack chat, The Hub, where you and other supporters of the show can gather in there and talk about all sorts of fun stuff. I saw somebody joined earlier this week, Tyler, I think. Yeah, he joined the Hub. Not a $5 pledge, but thanks, Tyler. We saw you pop in this week. If you want to help out the show but can't support financially, just appreciate a 5-star review on iTunes or positive rating in the podcast app of your choice to help others find the show. That is going to wrap up another week here on HomeTech. Everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Till next time.
Take care. Did you see I hit the high score of 20?
Holy shit.
Oh, during the show. Yeah, I know. It just went off in a...
How you doing that?
I don't know. It just went off. The things I accomplished while we were recording the show.